questions are using those connections and distinctions that we've been talking about. And I bet that most of you have come across these questions, or this type of question, in some way, shape, or form. This is what you might see on, say, a social studies test. This is what you might see on, say, a STAR test, or a forward exam. Now, the reason we walked through that graphic organizer is so that you guys have that process down. You understand the process of how to make those connections and distinctions between ideas, individuals, and events. But this is where you'll see it more applied in another format. Okay? So I'm going to look at the first one. First question says, which of the following best describes the reaction of Southern states to Lincoln's election? So I noticed right away, I'm looking at the reaction of the Southern states to Lincoln's election. I am comparing there, or connecting an idea, individuals, and an event, and putting to practice what we've been working on. So you guys are going to want to write that on your sheet as well, because it will help you as we're continuing with this standard. So it's saying, describes the reaction of the Southern states to Lincoln's election. So it's connecting the reaction of the Southern states to that event. There's a connection. Okay? So I want you to go through, and I'm going to read through each answer. And as I'm reading them, I want you to be thinking about, is that one of the ways that they are connected? Is that a way that the reaction of the Southern states was connected to Lincoln's election? So just think about it as I read them. A, the Southern states agreed to form the Confederate States of America. B, the Southern states passed a pledge to leave the Union if they felt coerced to end slavery. What does that mean? Coerced. What does that mean? Sean? Pressured. Okay, so if they felt pressured to end slavery. C, states in the Deep South broke away so they could continue slavery, but states in the Upper South supported ending it. Or D, states in the Deep South broke away immediately, but states in the Upper South chose to stay as long as slavery was in place. I want you guys to go through and eliminate any that cannot be the answer, but I want you to know why. Why are you eliminating that? Why can it not be your answer? So I want you guys to talk to your table about this. Go ahead.
It's D.
It's 100% D.
D? The ones don't make sense.
Why don't they make sense?
I don't know. I was just reading them and I was like, yeah, those don't sound right.
C is, it says that the Upper South supported ending slavery, but that's not true. And then B, it says that they passed a pledge, which they never did.
They didn't
Southern
pledge
states
to
agreed to
join.
form the Confederate States, the Confederate.
Did not agree
States
to
of
do
America.
that.
No, they did not. So it's D because that is the one that has
Because of the epic gamers.
What are you talking about right now?
Yep.
Hearing people quieting down. So, you can hear me clap once? You can hear me clap twice? The Southern states agreed to form the Confederate States of America. Is that true? Did the Southern states agree to form the Confederate States of America?
Yeah.
So, thinking right now, the reaction of the Southern states, how is that connected to Lincoln's election? When Lincoln was elected, how did they react? What was that connection? Did the Southern states agree to form the Confederate States at that point? No, that didn't happen. At that point, the states did not. Because we know, did the Upper South agree to that? No, remember we drew that chart showing the divisions. Okay? The Southern states passed a pledge to leave the Union if they felt coerced to end slavery. Is that true? So it says in the article here, the Deep South broke away from the Union. They joined together to form the Confederate States of America. The slaveholding states of the Upper South chose not to leave the Union. However, the Upper South states passed coercion clauses, pledging to side with the Confederacy if the federal government coerced the slaveholding states. So is that true that these Southern states passed a pledge? No, right? We can figure that out just from reading the text and knowing that we're thinking about that time of, or that event of, Lincoln's election. States in the Deep South broke away so they could continue slavery, but states in the Upper South supported ending it. Is that true?
No.
Why not, Sean?
Because the Upper South did not support ending slavery.
They didn't want to end slavery. That's not true even. So is it the states in the Deep South broke away immediately, but states in the Upper South chose to stay as long as slavery was in place? Is that true? Is that how they reacted to Lincoln becoming president? Okay. So in our explanation, we could say, we know that the Southern states, these individuals, divided between Upper and Deep South when Lincoln was elected, and that was the event. Okay. Any questions about this right now? Is that a question?